Tom Atkins stars as a drunken lout who's trying to solve a mystery in the exciting Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Oh, oh, oh.
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, the night no one comes home.
You don't really know much about Halloween. Halloween, the barriers will be down between the real and the unreal. And the dead might be looking in. The last great one took place 3,000 years ago when the hills ran red.
Halloween, the children.
You happen to know anything about this Cochran?
All I can tell you, mister, is watch out. He's watching you, friend, I guarantee you that.
Trick or treat.
Hey, Mr. Cochran, just what is the final process?
Fellas, I was just kidding.
Witchcraft. To us, it was a way of controlling our environment.
Hey!
Where are they taking her?
They're taking her to the factory.
I want a mask. Can I have a mask?
Just what I had in mind for you, little buddy. Why, Cochran? Why? Do I need a reason?
I've got nothing here to indicate there was ever a body at all.
Operator, this is an emergency.
I do love a good joke, and this is the best ever. The joke on the children. I'm glad you'll be able to watch it.
You've got to believe me!
They're going to kill us. All of us.
Stop it!
The world's going to change tonight, Doctor. Happy Halloween.
Stop it!
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, the night no one comes home.
Season of the Witch.
All right. Yeah. Waiting for King Penguin to come back.
I got kicked just because my host wanted me to go because I was going to say such great things about this. Welcome to Cinema de Fromage. And today we have a humdinger of a show as we are discussing the late, not so great horror film Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, starring a bunch of people. And with me, of course, is the usual gang of no, that's the Mad Magazine ones. Our usual gang of reviewers. We have over here Joshua with us. How are we doing today, Joshua?
Well, considering I've had to watch this twice, and the second time was today, I'm feeling a little depressed.
No.
Yep.
I'm sorry to hear that. Well, hopefully we will perk you up after this is done. Now we down below. Me feeling a little bit put off for some reason. I don't know why. It's Kente. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I've been looking forward all season to do this episode. I left it. I put the episodes in the orders, and I definitely had this. I was going to do this as a season finale, but I said no. We'll do as the penultimate episode.
Sort of just before the stake goes through the heart. This is the first
Right.
poking in, and then the hammer comes down in the next episode.
Right. So I'm happy to be here.
And of course, to my, I can never get this right. Ooh. We got Jen. Spooky. I'll turn this off. Ooh.
You're in the mood.
That was my fan.
My prop. There's your fanfare. Go ahead, Jen. How are we today?
Pretty awesome. Actually, as Cinema du Fromage movies go, this one is definitely one of my favorites. Not because it's super awesome, because it is so Cinema du Fromage.
And if you say this is not cheesy enough, I'm gonna shoot you.
Oh, I will not say it's not cheesy enough.
It is so
cheesy, but it's also kind of bad. Let's not mince words. Kente, you want to? I want to give you a chance to go ahead and tell us what this film is about.
Sure.
For the uninitiated.
All right. So, a hospital emergency room Dr. Daniel Chalice, played by the great Tom Atkins, and Ellie Cambridge, the daughter, who is the daughter of a murder victim, uncover a terrible plot by a small town mask maker, Colonel Cochran, a madman who's planning a Halloween mass murder utilizing an ancient Celtic ritual. The ritual involves a boulder stolen. Well, hey, that kind of tells everything. Boulder stolen from Stonehenge. The use of silver shamrock mask and a triggered device contained in a TV commercial, all designed to kill millions of children. What a wonderful plot! I mean, that is a great plot. Anyway,
and that's the plot.
Yeah, that's the whole movie, basically.
And you don't even mention the killer robots or the
we're going to talk about that.
Obnoxious people or the drunken. Anyways, yes, that is definitely the plot. It is a strange one. It's definitely a departure from the rest of the Halloween series, as we know, starring Michael Myers. Now, I'm not one of those people who goes, "Oh no, it doesn't have Michael Myers, so therefore it's a crappy Halloween film." That is not my problem with this film. I'll tell you that right off the bat. Mm-hmm. This film has some interesting things going for it. It has some interesting death scenes. It has some creepy moments that are not too bad. I just can't get over the fact how much I hate the main character, and it flows along like somebody said, okay, we have to have this, and happen, and it does in such a quick. I mean, for a slow movie, it has very quick jumps to things, such as, well, we gotta have the romance. Okay, well, he did meet this girl whose father just died. We might as well have them hook up in the next scene.
He was a player. Remember, he
was a drunk. Every time you talk about it,
harassing nurses.
You see him. He's always got a drink in his hand, and when she goes to find him, she finds him at the bar and says, "Yeah, I was told I could find you here." His wife on the phone. It's like, oh yeah, drinking and doctoring. That's a good thing.
The wife is hilarious too, by the way.
Played by Nancy Loomis, who was in the first Halloween film.
That's right.
The Babysitters.
Do you guys know that? I'm sorry, Jen. Go ahead, Jen.
I was just going to say, and her name was Loomis, so that's a connection.
Dr. Loomis. Mm-hmm. But also, did you know that this movie is part of the original? It isn't a one-off. That they actually included it in the Michael Myers backstory. That the whole in
one of the better Michael Myers films,
Halloween 666. They actually connected all of that together. So this is, which I thought was a terrible movie.
Yeah, it was a terrible movie.
I like the idea, though. They connected one of the great horror movies of our generation to it.
You can't even say that with a straight face.
Forget The Shining and The Exorcist. And
who needs scares when you've got confusion and stupidity? Things happening because they need to.
Well, you know what? I'm going to talk about what this movie has.
Okay, go ahead.
And you guys refute this. This movie has, it has love.
Wrong.
It has...
No, it has lust.
It has...
In fact, maybe underage sex, too. We're never sure.
See, it's bold. It has self-immolation. How many movies have self-immolation?
Not enough, to be honest.
It has robots. It
certainly has robots.
Androids.
Okay.
Yes.
It has children getting murdered.
Mm-hmm.
It has a snazzy theme song.
Well, no, I don't know about the theme song, but it does have a great little
jingle
earworm that'll just drive you nuts.
I love it though, by the way. And it also has Stonehenge in it. I mean, what else could you ask? It ties Stonehenge, androids, murder of children, all in one movie.
Don't forget computers. Commodore computers doing computery things.
And they had a Scooby-Doo moment in there.
You mean when they're sneaking past with the... It's like, we're in a big, giant place, and no one will notice this rack moving across the floor when we could just be like one of hundreds of other people just walking past and trying not to draw attention.
That was epic.
That was an homage to the Scooby-Doo, Jen.
That was so epic. Come on, you gotta love it.
It's so
I want me a silver shamrock mask.
You almost half expected somebody throughout to pull the mask off of somebody and say, "And now let's see who the villain really is."
It's the
screenwriter.
And I mean, I could go on and on. I'll let you go, and then I'll.
No. Look, it's got some interesting death scenes that are, I think the kid in the mask is very well done. It's actually got a good creep factor, and it's disturbing, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
If the women were such obnoxious people that came out of a John Waters film.
The woman who's messing with the silver shamrock thing, and it blasts
blasts her face. That was well done too.
And kudos to me, because 2 of my movies actually have women being drilled to death. Remember, Body Double.
Oh, sure. Yes.
And then now this has, the drill. I hope people don't think I'm a misogynist.
Well, it all depends if you're going to get the driller killer as next the next season.
I was like, when I saw it, I was like, man, Jen is going to shoot me. She's going to think she's going to read too much into my choices.
No, I'll give you a pass on this one since it was
thank you.
awesome.
Thank you. That was a good scene though, when he, and think how you got to give the androids credit that they, even though their plan was like not even 2 hours away from enacting it, they still wanted to tidy up everything by going back to kill the examiner. Like, I mean, another crew that wasn't as good, they would have just, they wouldn't have done it.
What were they trying to stop her from finding out? Because you know what? She looks at this pile of little small pieces and goes, oh, and then she gets killed. But I don't think she discovered anything. I mean, There's nothing there that suggests, oh, this is a perfectly made android of a person that somebody's designed. It's just a bunch of stuff that she's found, and it's like, oh, looks like car parts. They sent it to maybe not car parts.
Yes.
What has the coroner found out? What is she got some sort of master's degree in robot droid creation that she suddenly went, wait a minute, that's a Sprocket X52 capacitor. This can only be found in one of these robots.
No, but see, this clearly speaks to the 1982 understanding of AI, where we think that AI is just going to be so.
I lived in 1982, and we didn't think that at all.
Wait, when were you born, Josh?
We were Westworld.
That's it.
When were you born, Josh?
I was born in 82, and I believe I've aged better.
Like a bad wine.
You a fool. So that movie came out your birth year. You should be more connected to it.
Or I should be ashamed.
Whatever, man. Whatever. Okay.
Joshua, why don't you tell us your feelings on the film? Like, let's hear what you have to say.
So I watched Wayne's World, and I really enjoyed that movie. And then I watched Halloween 3 and wanted to watch Wayne's World again. By the way, the kids loved Wayne's World, just in case anybody was wondering.
Did they love Halloween 3?
No, this was certainly okay, kids, it's time for bed. Daddy's going to watch this movie, and hopefully it'll be good. And when asked, was it good? I'd have to say, go to your room. Stop asking questions.
Don't make me think about it again.
We're going to forget about this. Okay. I don't even know where to begin, because half the time I was just confused. Not that the plot was too complicated.
Very Christopher Nolan type plot.
It was very nonsensical at times, especially whenever it's like, oh, okay, you just grabbed him by the head and just ripped it off his neck. Okay.
And he didn't even scream or anything. He just like, okay.
And then, that car blew up with that guy in it. And then later on, and
he was very combustible.
There was nobody there. It was. I don't even. I don't want to, because it hurt my brain so much watching this. I don't want to say this was a bad movie, because it was not good enough to be a bad movie. No offense.
To the bad movies.
Okay. I'll think about some of the positive things. Some of the things you guys mentioned. The scene with a kid, and watching everything happening under the mask, and then suddenly, stuff starts crawling out of it.
Right.
It's like,
right.
Okay, it's got a little something going for it there. When they arrive at the motel and dude is like having to dodge things all the time.
Yeah.
RV pulls up, bike. Woman pulls up, car. I thought that was pretty funny. He's just jumping out of the way of stuff all the time. I guess they had to establish his agility or something.
You fool. Establish his agility.
Oh God.
He was swift, I guess. I guess for the 80s he was swift. Because at the time, right?
He's a sex
manly men were, drinkers with nice mustaches. And really knew how to get the job done, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do believe he was very responsible when he said, "How old are you?"
Yeah, after the second time.
Although he might have been less responsible after not getting an answer.
Older than I look. You kind of look 10. Good enough. Guy was a scumbag.
And that's our hero.
Yeah, our hero. Why is he doing this? Okay, here's the question. Why is he on this mission to find out what's going on?
Because
he had laid. That's it. He's doing it to be with this girl. He gets her to the motel and then suddenly says, you know what? We're at the hotel now. She's grieving over her dead dad. And he's like, welcome to the hotel. You know what I want? But first, I got to get to a bar. I mean, he even says that line. He's thinking, we better serve something. Wait, I got to drink first. It's like, what kind of alcoholic is this?
But he's realistic.
And the person he talks to is another drunk. It's the only person he could find to talk to.
But think about it. He's a real he's realistic, very realistic person. That's what guys do. We're always on our missions to get laid.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know how many missions to get laid I've been on?
Today?
Okay. How many?
I didn't talk about today.
Okay.
A lot. Okay. Too many to count.
Wow.
Okay. Let's say let's start breaking down the film.
Okay.
Because I've heard that we don't break down enough. So let's break down.
We don't break down enough. What are we supposed to be breaking down? Like scene by scene?
Not scene by scene, but patch by patch.
Do we know what kind of lighting rigs they used?
Okay, first of all,
cinematography is good in this movie. I'll give it that.
That's what I was about to say. The cinematography is very good. Fucking awesome in this movie.
Yeah, and you know who the cinematographer was?
Who is it?
Was it me?
No. Hold on. Let me see if I get this right, because I could never see if I could pronounce it. It's Kundi. He did. He worked with the original Halloween, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he did Jurassic Park. It's the same guy.
Jurassic Park and Back to the Future and quite a few other films.
So. Yeah, he's a great cinematographer. That guy.
I mean, and he was trying to light what they had. It's just too bad what they were putting in front of the screen wasn't worth,
No, they have a lot of what I call iconic imagery, and when a movie is shot very well, there you get a lot of like really great iconic imagery. And this movie has a lot of it in there. You know, you all can make your little jokes if you want, but this movie has a lot of great iconic imagery. And I'll let me show you some of the iconic imagery since I have receipts for what I'm talking about. Okay. Like that. That's like that. That's a great shot. It's a great scene, and it really tells. Just the steel alone, you know, tells a lot in that scene. You know,
it tells a guy there in a mask. You know what I like better about that shot?
Mm-hmm.
Right afterwards, where he does that. You know, for a drunk, he's got a really good aim with that mask. Where he gets one shot and covers up the camera perfectly.
Right, it was perfect, wasn't it? Yeah. Like this, I love this shot right here.
Yes, that is a great shot. The
great
kids walking in front of the thing. That is, yeah. I mean,
and this orange looking background that's in the movie too.
Except for some reason, it was Halloween all across the country at the exact same time of night across an entire 3-hour period. Probably even Hawaii was in there too, with exact same dusk pictures, which makes me wonder. So he was only trying to save the kids in California. What about the kids in New York? And were they already dead 3 hours before? And wouldn't these guys have heard about these horrible stories of what happened to these kids?
Okay, there's somebody in the chat room. Somebody in the chat room. Is he saying Halloween 3? Yeah. Let's see.
I think it's more like Halloween 3, eh?
Oh, A. Okay, he's Canadian. Okay. But
that movie was 2 weeks ago.
So we've established that it's great cinematography.
Yeah. Okay.
And the score is freaking awesome. It was John Carpenter.
It was
the score was great.
It's not as iconic as the original.
No. Of course, the original is better. I mean, we're not comparing the original.
I mean, okay. You remember how we talked about before? An opening gives you kind of the feel of a movie, right?
Right.
How a film opens kind of gives you the theme and the feel of what you expect.
Mm-hmm.
And the opening of this movie is awful. It is a Commodore 64 close-up of Commodore 64 screen as they do a res image of a pumpkin, and it's supposed to be spooky and the music
Wait a minute. Okay. So I know you didn't ask me for my opinion about the movie, but I'm going to chime in here anyway.
No, jump in.
I got a box, so I'm going to chime in. Okay.
Go ahead.
I feel like we're all missing the point, right? The point, I mean, and I mean this in all sincerity, in the early 80s, when things were beginning to be technology driven, people were scared. And I'm not saying that they were scared like from a horror, oh my God, there's a slasher in the closet scared. They were scared at the level of control that technology would have over their lives. And this marries together the technology that people were scared of and the ancient magic stuff that we're already always afraid of. And it blended it together in a kind of, hey, this is it's wizardry inside of technology. And the other thing that I think that we're missing is every single trope in this movie was set to be in a really similar way to the oh my God, I totally forgot the name of the movie, but the shopping mall, Day of the Dead.
Day of the
Dead. Okay. It was definitely a parody of where people were at that time. It was so not supposed to be a movie that was supposed to like jump out of the closet and scare you via Michael Myers. It was really supposed to draw on all of the things that were scary at the time with the rise of technology. So that
Dick Warlock, right? Dick Warlock. That's funny.
See, there you go.
Yeah, Dick Warlock was in it. Yeah. Now I'll say this.
That's true.
Let's
great porn name.
Because people are bringing up there's no Michael Myers in this film. Okay.
Well, I don't know about Michael Myers being in the film. I said that already from the start.
Right.
That's not my problem.
But I want to kind of get to why there's no. He says I think he knows why. They had an idea of the Halloween being an anthology series.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't even want the second one to be about Michael Myers. And they finally gave him what he wanted. This is John Carpenter in doing this film with no Michael Myers. And it didn't, people just wanted Michael Myers. And, maybe this film wasn't strong enough to keep it going. Maybe. But then Michael Myers is in this movie twice.
Yeah, on the TV. Which
Right.
makes it stranger because it's now suddenly you've got this world that is a Halloween, but Halloween exists as a movie in this world, so it's just being very meta, and the
I
worst thing
like
you
that.
can do is remind people of a better film in your film, because that only makes you go back and think, oh yeah, I like that scene in that movie, and you remember that was scary, and this is not, because one thing this movie is not, and that is scary in any way, shape, or form. There's no real tension, there's no real terror. There's killings and gross stuff, but it's not a scary. It's not like
I feel like you guys are so jaded.
No, not
Josh,
at all.
Josh, Skywarp wants to come in real quick, so just let him come in, and then we'll bring you right back in.
Alrighty.
All right, hop in the Skywarp real quick. All right, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. I
All
know
right.
you like Halloween. I am a huge Halloween fan, and I'm a fanatic of it, and I know all the history of it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm a mask collector too, so 2018.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Shatner. Woo.
Halloween 2.
Oh, you know what?
Not a Shatner.
Wait a minute. Let us try to figure out which one. Let us try to figure out which ones are they.
Oh, okay.
So, like, you have more masks?
These are the only 2 right now.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
collecting all of them.
We can't do that bit. No, that's pretty cool.
Because we know the answers already.
Right.
Oops.
No, pretty cool. Yeah. So
I'm trying to get them all.
You keep those masks next to your bed?
No, I got them down from my display.
Oh, okay. All right. I was about to say that can be creepy to wake up next to Michael. Yeah. So season of the Witch.
Season 3, Michael of the Witch.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about the movie?
Well, when I first saw it, I didn't quite like the way they used the mask, the jack-o'-lantern, and the witch, and then the skull. Which, by the way, those masks were made by Don Post, the original mask creator. And then they used it for the movie, and you can actually buy those online. They're pretty expensive, but the movie itself had, well, only thing it had Dick Warlock in it, but either way, John Carpenter didn't really want to do the movie because he didn't want to direct it. Even Deborah Hill did not want to do it. But they were like, I mean, as you saw, I mean, they included him because they were like, yeah, why not? He's the one of the creators that made the movie, so
yeah, use that name to sell the product.
Yes, just do
put the
that.
Halloween title on there to sell it to the audience, and that's why it had a problem, because the audiences were expecting another Halloween film, and they got something completely different.
Yeah, they were all excited that Michael Myers is going to have a new mask. Like, what kind of mask? I mean, the 4th one sucked. The 5th one sucked. The 6th one sucked. Some of them did, but I mean, I'm a mask collector. I don't care about the movie. I'm a mask collector, and when I saw the masks, I was horrified by seeing the long neck Michael, the weird non-Shackner mask.
Right.
I'm sorry if I'm getting out of topic, but
yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
When I saw Halloween, I was like, ooh, I could totally school these people.
Oh, you're gonna school us now?
Well, I started watching Halloween when I was like probably in my teens, but when I first saw the first one, I'm sorry to get off topic again, but I mean, Halloween is one of my favorite movies, because I have a lot of things about Halloween. Even the mask collecting, I mean, the people collect these masks, but Shamrock did a good job by making them product like that.
Well, we did review the original one, and on a different forum.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so we did, because it was in conjunction with the one that came out last year. So we did it like maybe, I think it was like a day or two before.
Yeah, somewhere in that.
So yeah. So before we let you go, what did you think about the last movie that came out last
The
year?
2018.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it.
Oh, okay. You loved it. All right.
mean, the new Halloween Kill and then Dies, the new 2020 movies are coming out, but I mean, spoiler, last part when he looked up at Lori and saying you're not gonna hear the end of me. I love the part when he gets his hand shot off and he's looking at you like, yeah, you're screwed now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess maybe we need to review that movie at some point. But thank you so much for coming on, man, and sharing.
Oh, you're welcome. I just figured I'd come on and because I love Halloween.
That's
I'm glad that y'all talking about it. I'm gonna come on again.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Later, guys.
All right. Josh, hop back in. Okay, so let's really break down the movie because I don't want to get accused again of not breaking down the movie.
Okay, so all right.
Let's go to Jen. What did you think about the women of this film? Let's start off there because you have the black nurse in the beginning who gets sexually harassed by our lead, our
lovable protagonist,
right? And then you have the technician, the redhead lady
who he also harasses,
who's pretty hot too.
Uses
by the
the word "going for dinner" in a weird context.
way.
You're gonna owe me a lot of dinners.
And then you have a robot lady.
It's a mystery. Was she a robot all along, or would they just change her in the last couple of seconds? And how fast can they make these goddamn robots?
And also,
pretty fast.
Also, what's the bigger? Was she a robot all along? The bigger mystery: is she a robot all along, or was she underage or not? Like, what was the bigger mystery?
Well, if they only made her that week, yeah, she was only a couple of weeks old, so you know.
So, what was your take as a woman?
Obviously, she was a robot. That's
well, as the token woman on the panel.
That's right.
I definitely thought that this is one of the worst. I mean, it is so comprehensively exactly what every movie around this time was, except when I start thinking about like Alien and how women were starting to break out of these roles. But oh my God, this definitely reinforces that sort of feeling that all women were just sort of side props. Or, like I said, some kind of like token figure, the token black woman, the token everything. I mean, honestly, they couldn't have come up with a better cast of women to sort of be the token stuff.
Yeah, and the token androids.
And well, to be honest, though, I have to say I'm actually kind of glad that they at least made one of the androids female because at least they were thinking about it.
Yeah.
But what were they thinking about?
If he was smart,
her pretty well. If she was,
come on! Look, we all know that the future of AI is all about sex robots, right? I mean, the future of AI is not about running the world; it's about creating sex robots. We know that,
right? If he was smart, he would have kept the bottom half. And just...
no, because they would have tried to kill him too. They would have found different ways to try to kill him.
What she gonna do? She gonna do a Xenia on the top and squeeze him with her legs.
Oh, you clearly haven't seen The Boys yet. I'll just leave that right there.
Oh, wow. I have.
Yeah, see, you get it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So, so let's talk about Colonel Cochran and his plot. My thing is Colonel Cochran. First of all, that actor is awesome, right?
He is awesome.
Well, he's a great actor, and I love his facial expressions. They're like priceless. Like the guy is. I just love that guy. That guy is awesome, and he's always good. He was in RoboCop too. He was.
Yes, he was the chief CEO.
Right, and he was great in that as well. In this film, I just love like his reasoning for everything, why he wants to do what he wants to do, and he's like,
hold on, because I couldn't quite get that myself. But what was his reasoning?
His reasoning was that he loves to play jokes, and this is the ultimate joke. Murdering every kid in America or in the world, probably.
That joke.
I get it.
Pretty funny. Come on now. Think about this, Josh. That's better than any James Bond plot.
Well,
no, if you would have said Superman plot, might have agreed with you.
Yeah, I mean, as far as plots goes, it's just above sinking California in the ocean to make all your desert property into the most valuable property in the world.
That's genius.
Just above it, not much.
Hey, I would do that if I could.
Not a movie.
But I mean, think about it though. What the movie is really, it's a deeper message in this movie. What they're talking about is consumerism. They're talking about groupthink. They're talking about, it's a commentary on all of those things.
How TV rots your mind.
Right.
Yeah.
See, you get it. I mean, come on now. It really is trying to say something.
Also, and also, if I can inject something, the undertone that I got was that we all follow along like sheep, basically to our own slaughter, and we participate in our own ignorance, basically, and it gets us in trouble.
Well, hold on though. That would suppose that somebody could figure out that somebody wanted to take a piece of Stonehenge, put it in a bunch of masks, sell it to a bunch of kids over a long period of time so they could air a television show which would cause their brains and everything to rot into a bunch of bugs. Are people sheep if they haven't figured that plot out?
Yeah,
I'm just asking, because that is a convoluted, weird plot. I mean, that's probably an upside to this movie, is that plot is just so bonkers. It's actually kind of interesting. But there's no way anybody would have figured that out. The only reason our hero finds out is because he's stumbling through, because he has to, because the plot says.
Think about it mirrors the Tickle Me Elmo craze.
Yeah.
Remember, everybody had to have a Tickle Me Elmo.
Right.
Remember that year? Yeah. And I know why you and Josh are mad at this film.
Oh, why is that?
Because you guys know that you would have bought your kids a Silver Shamrock mask.
No, I bought
and
it.
Then you would have been, and you would have felt like shit because you would have watched your kids melt into goo, and you would have been like, "Why did I keep up with the Joneses by giving up the mask?" See, me and Jen, we don't follow the trends.
Right.
So that's why we looked at it objectively, because we know we wouldn't have bought our kids on masks.
Yeah, that wouldn't have happened.
Sleep at night.
He's totally right though. Yeah.
Oh,
look at my face. Does this look like it's someone that follows trends?
Okay, not you, but if your kid came to you and said, "Daddy, give me a Silver Shamrock mask," you would have got it.
No,
you would have said no.
Of course, I would say no.
At the time, well, not even at the time, all the way through, there is something to be said about how incredibly pervasive both peer pressure is and how we relate to all these trends from a societal level. But I got to go back to this idea, right? Because I know it's a ridiculous mastermind, plot, right. but it's still it mirrors really well this whole idea of where people were at the time with the evils of technology. I mean, we still feel it. To some degree, older people still look at younger people on their phones and go, that's going to rot your brain. You shouldn't be doing that. And I mean, it's not that far of a hop and jump with what we've got in our current horror tropes, that just because they do them in a different way doesn't mean that the underlying principle is it really is basically the same.
Right. That's the message this movie is saying, is television will rot your brain. It's like, that's what they're saying. It's like, this movie is deep when you think about it.
So
and then
I didn't get a chance. The same kind of themes.
Huh?
I said Lawnmower Man covers the same kind of themes.
But not as brilliant.
Lawnmower Man wasn't targeting kids.
See?
So if I'm reading this correctly, Rob Zombie is going to make Halloween 3, and it's going to be about cell phone apps.
Hey, why not? Dude, I'd watch it.
Yeah, but it'll star a bunch of white trash people who are just going to scream for most of the film.
Hilarious. I'll say
like all of his music videos.
Yeah.
I'll say that this film is not getting its credit for what it tried to do. And that opening scene with the Commodore, whatever it was,
Commodore 64.
64.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was brilliant because it actually is foreshadowing the message throughout the movie. Because remember, the other ones they had the actual pumpkin, and this one's about technology. So, like, you got to really think. You got to kind of think. You almost got to be a little high to really get it.
If that was the case,
I wasn't high though, but see, I'm just so smart that I didn't have to be high to understand.
From now on, all Cinema du Fromage movies should come with ecstasy. I think that is the best way for us to watch all these movies.
If you were high, Josh, come on, you would have loved this movie because it would have opened up your third eye.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't
there you go.
partake in things like that.
But I mean, you can't use
for me, but that's because
you can't use the same metric that you would use with like Coppola's movies, or you know what I'm saying. Like, you can't be like, this is no Godfather 2. You know,
I lowered the bar as much as I could.
I feel like y'all even low. I mean, like, what do you? I mean, the plot is stupid. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no, it's not stupid. It's great.
Freud was right.
A slip. No, I mean, yeah, there's some silly stuff in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's some great iconic imagery in there. The stuff with the androids are awesome, and I love the look of it and all of that.
when he's punching the thing and pulling out the mustard.
Huh?
If that's how he discovered it was an android, he punched it in the belly.
Oh yeah, the mustard.
Yeah.
I saw that and went, oh yeah, android.
Well, it's like a deep message about cutting the mustard in life. So that's what.
How tall is that ladder? Because you are reaching, my friend.
It is a good move. It's you know what, I'm gonna tell you about my journey with this movie.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I love Halloween. Yeah. Love it since I was young enough to watch it or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I always skip 3 because I heard Michael Myers is not in it before I saw it. Mm-hmm. Had no desire to watch it. And then I think I was like in a barbershop or somewhere, and it was just on television, and it was like in the middle of the movie. And I remember watching it and going, oh, this stuff, stupid one without Michael Myers in it. And it was just on. Nobody was really watching it. You know, everybody's talking, but I was like watching it, and I kind of was like, this is interesting, right? I kind of was like into it. So
what is that?
You goofy. Hilarious. Okay, so what happened was I found it because at the time it was hard to find, and I got it and I watched it from beginning to end, and I liked the movie. You know, yes, it's stupid. The plot is stupid, but there's so many things in it. It has this mystery quality to it. It has this, you know, it takes you on an adventure.
You can't even keep a straight face.
It takes you on an adventure, and much like when you watch like Lawrence of Arabia or you
cannot do that.
River Kauai or something like that. It takes you on a journey. And now it takes you on a journey, and you come out a better person at the end of it. So I love it. I love it.
Now Kinte and I have to have like our own sort of private side chat here because although I'm willing to concede that this was a really fun movie, I'm not willing to concede that it was Lawrence of Arabia.
I'm not willing to concede it was The Room.
It's better than The Room. This was better than it was. Technically, way more advanced than The Room. Come on.
All right, King. So the big question.
Sure.
The big question is: would you rather watch Halloween 3 or Burnt Offerings?
Halloween 3. Easy.
Yeah, for me, definitely.
Halloween 3. But then you're giving me a choice between slitting my throat or drowning.
I mean, you know, whatever you gotta do.
You know what? There's one thing we haven't played, or you can't talk about this movie
okay
without this.
Oh, here it comes.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
You come on now. That is the best jingle ever.
I love it. I love it. And by the way, 70 days more till Halloween. Exactly today.
Remember I told you, Josh, that there's going to be something that's going to stay in your head with this movie?
Yep.
Did you realize
those words?
It was the gas.
Did you realize that when you were watching it? That's what I was talking about.
I had a feeling after the third time that it might be it.
That might be it.
Because the first time it was like, it's some weird background TV music. Okay. Then it comes on again and it's like, is there a theme to this? Then it comes on again and it's like, oh, this is happening.
Not happening.
And then I had no choice but to just accept it.
I bet you if you play it for your kids, they'll be singing it.
I will never play this for my children.
Yeah, because that actually constitutes as child abuse in some states.
Whatever. This is a very joyful song.
True fact.
It's
Okay,
a joyful.
I'm going to say some positive things about this movie now.
Okay, let's hear
it. They have a black character who is not killed off in the beginning, is a decent guy, and has a callback at the end and says, "Hey, don't I recognize you from before?" And it's like,
3 days ago.
Hey, that's great. I love that callback.
Yeah, Melvin Van People.
And he was just, he was just a guy who's just working the station, some whacked out guy who could be on drugs and everything, nearly dies in front of him. He takes him to the hospital and they say, "Why? Oh, just want to do what was right." And it's like, oh, you know what? That's a nice. You avoid all the stereotypes you see in horror films, and the guy gets to live his life afterwards. Maybe he saw, these kids' heads explode at the end of the film. We don't know because they stop really early.
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, we didn't get there.
Yeah,
we're gonna get to that.
We better get there soon. So I'll give that to the film. As I said before, the cinematography is excellent. There's some great shots in the film. Hold on. There was something else that was good. I'm sure of it.
It ended.
The deaths.
It had credits.
Yeah, it put the credits right where they needed to be.
There you go.
At the end.
Well timed.
And you know what? At least it was brave enough to, be killing kids and not have a happy ending. So there. Those are the positives. They're not outweighed by all the negatives, but there you go.
Well, I enjoy it for what it is.
The amazing death of our villain, where some white plaster thing fades away. I don't know what that was. Was that supposed to be him? Or was
I admit that was dumb. That was dumb. Okay, so before we close out the review of this movie, there's two things I want to talk about. One thing is, okay, I don't even know what her name was, the girlfriend or whatever, the maybe she's underage girl. The fact that she turned out to be and then we're gonna get to the ending, but the fact that she turned out to be and how do you steal one of the Stonehenge stones? That's you got to give them credit if you pulled that off. That could be a movie. That could be a movie. The heist of how they stole it, right there. They should do a prequel of how they stole that. But
even Spinal Tap couldn't do it.
The scene though was hilarious though. You got to that was pretty funny. That was like a Monty Python is.
Oh, wait, she wouldn't stop attacking.
Yeah, it just kept.
Yeah, okay, it's all right. Oh, pen. Oh, that's another pen. Oh, really? Okay, pen. Oh, okay.
That was hilarious. Come on, you didn't laugh a little bit though, Josh.
It was a little.
It was pretty fun. You know what? You are whatever, man.
Kente, you've known me for a very long time, and I'm Mr. Look at the bright side of everything. I couldn't do it.
Oh man!
Oh man! Apparently, you watched it on your period.
I mean, I think Southland Tales. One of the most critically, reviled movies of the last 20 years. I think it's great. So we know my tastes are already out of whack. So just the fact that it aligns with so many people as far as how good they think this movie is, it's making me reevaluate a lot of things.
Make me reevaluate.
A lot of people like it. You know what? It's one of those movies that, like, I'll give you an example, like The Living Daylights, the James Bond movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those movies that when it came out, people were just whatever about it, and then now years later, people are like, "Whoa, this is a good movie!" Like, it's like kind of like that. That's a great movie too, by the way, Living Daylights. But an underrated movie, and I think this is that kind of movie where people years later are like, you know what? This was pretty good for what it is.
Okay.
So
I'll say for John Carpenter Productions, keep it as wide as possible because this is not a John Carpenter film.
Right.
I'll put him in this thing. If we're going to talk about a film that's underrated at its time and turned out to be a classic and was great, it's The Thing. This is not it. This is not the underrated. Some people go back and say, you know what? It's not as horrible as we remembered it being. They feel guilty because they thought, oh, it was horrible because Michael Myers was not horrible. It's like when I was a kid writing stories, I'd have to have my heroes. You ticked off all the things that they did, and it didn't matter. You're doing it as quickly as you can because you're only writing it in 2 pages. It's like, okay, hero finds this, then he discovers this, then he gets this, and he finds a girl, and he kisses the girl, and then he finds this, and he does this, and then they beats the villain up. The end. And it was like this is the way the film went. There was no logical progression. It just happened because it had to happen. For example, the girl being a robot. Oh, great twist. Except for if she was a robot designed to kill him, why did she help him escape and stop kill the villain and run away with him? Why did she choose then to finally, decide to kill him?
No, I agree with you. That
makes no sense. Except for, hey, we're getting close to the end of the film. Let's give one more, little bump to, in his way. Let's turn the girlfriend into a zombie robot who, for some reason, waited until that point to attack him, as opposed to he should have turned his back on her once she got her out, and she should have killed him.
No, I agree with you. That was dumb. It's not a perfect movie. It's not a perfect movie.
It's far from a perfect
movie. I think some gaffer on set was watching them, go through the final scenes of filming the final scenes, and he walks up to the director and he's like, "Hey, I was just thinking, and it might sound crazy, but just hear me out. What if she was a robot the whole time?" And the director's like,
brilliant. Okay, we haven't done
I don't care. Do it.
Hilarious. All right. Let me play this scene and then we'll talk about it and then we'll close it out.
If it goes out, it means the death of millions of people, everyone watching. Don't you understand that? Well, say it's a bomb, then say whatever you want. Say whatever you like, just get it off the air.
Say it's a bomb.
Please, you just... No, I can't prove it. You've got to believe me. Believe me. Take it off the air now, please. You've got to. It means...
Please excuse the interruption. We're having technical problems. Please stand by.
It's time. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Dark masks, gather round your TV set. Put on your masks and watch. All witches, all skeletons, all jack-o'-lanterns.
The third commercial. It's still on, please. Take off the third channel. The third channel. It's still running. Stop it, please. For God's sake, please stop it. There's no more time. You've got to... Please, stop it. Stop it now. Turn it off. Turn it off. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah,
Come
that's why I
on.
near the end of the film.
What a awesome ending to a movie. Come on now. You can't get better than
But
that.
once again, I'm sitting there going, who is he talking to? He's able to turn off 3 stations by making one phone call. And it's Halloween night. Some guy calls the station. You got to take commercial off the air because it's going to kill kids. Do it. Crazy man calling. It makes sense. Sure. Click, click, click. And these things bother. And what bothers me the most is, like I said, this set played in California. This means that 3 hours before that commercial had run in New York and killed a bunch of kids. And nobody even had it on the news going, a bunch of serious deaths in New York City after, all kids with masks who are watching this commercial. Okay, fine, they don't figure it out in the first hour. But the second hour, when it goes on, it's, in the middle of the time zones, and the same thing happens. By the time we got to California, somebody should have said, you know what, just in case, let's not put on this commercial. I know it's far-fetched, but maybe there's a connection. I don't know.
I have 2 questions.
Uh-huh.
One, what kids are out at 9 p.m. trick-or-treating? Even in 1982, it seems a little late.
It is.
And 2,
let's go to gas stations to trick-or-treat.
That, and
I know, right?
I thought kids were like more disciplined back in the day, and these little turds are going up and changing this man's TV.
I didn't think about that. I don't want to watch this.
He's like, F you, I'm watching this commercial.
I mean, at some point, an adult in that room could have walked up and was like, no?
Or at least took, parents going, what is this? Tell them to stop doing it.
He's back when their dials on the TV, right?
What he wants.
He could have saved those kids.
He could have turned off the TV.
Yeah, like what parent though is driving up and say, "All right, now trick or treat here at this gas." Yeah, you're right, at this gas station. That is pretty funny. And,
if you remember from when the opening of the scene, that gas station is out in the middle of nowhere.
Right. That's
the only person to get to that gas station is a guy who can outrun a car.
Oh,
Come on, kids! I know a great spot.
This guy's always giving candy, and he's very helpful.
They give full-size candy bars. That's why they go there.
That's true.
And apparently, they don't care if you touch his TV.
Yeah, watch whatever you want when you get there.
Oh, hilarious! You guys are too funny. You guys are too funny. I think that's a great ending. It's a very very definitely
Invasion of the Body Snatchers kind of ending.
Right, in a way, yeah.
That's not it. It's intentional. That was one of the influences. In fact, the name of the town that they go to, where the Silver Shamrock Company is the same name of the town that's in the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
See,
not unintentional.
See, I like that. The ending was awesome. Just saying. So,
Can't
all right. At
the beginning of the show, we were talking about I was born in 1982. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I'd do a little bit of research. Can you give me a number between 1 and 10?
Let's go with 6.
Okay, 6. These are 6 movies that I think better represent the year of my birth than Halloween 3.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be the judge. All right, after each one.
E.T.
Nope. I'd rather watch Halloween 3.
Actually,
The Thing.
Oh, definitely The Thing.
Yeah, okay, The Thing.
Poltergeist.
Okay, Poltergeist, man.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
No, Halloween 3.
Something in his brain to pop.
I'm saying these better represent the year of my birth.
Uh-huh.
Annie.
Oh, Halloween 3.
And that was what, 5?
Mm-hmm. Blade Runner.
Yeah, but that's, like...
Obvious.
I'll go with Airplane 2.
Not Star Trek.
Yeah, again, Wrath of Khan. Too easy.
Yeah, I love that movie.
But Airplane 2 represents 1982 better than Halloween 3.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know.
And that also had a commentary on the technological terrors that we have brought upon ourselves
One day we're gonna have to review Poltergeist just as a side. That's a good.
I watched that recently, and it does not hold up too well for me.
Really, I liked it. Was it Toby Hooper?
Toby Hooper, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it originally, but I watched it again. I'm like going,
That's
maybe
true,
a
man.
butchered version. I don't know. All are welcome. All are welcome.
Yeah.
Lie.
Ridgemont High, Annie, Airplane 2. Yeah.
Ridgemont High.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get to the scores. Jen, you are up first because ladies first.
I actually feel like as the token woman, you should put me in the middle, not.
Yeah, there you go. She wants to be in the middle. I think, Kente, you should lead this off because this is your favorite film of all time.
It's not my favorite film of all time, but it's up there. Not just playing.
I think it is.
When I hand the ball off to you guys, it's better to just kind of.
I just needed a moment. I promise. I was just joking around with you. Okay.
All right. So story. I probably should have gave it a higher score, but I gave it a 6. I really just love this storyline. It's intriguing to me. I love Stonehenge. I love androids. I love killing mass murder of children. Dang, I need to be on the.
Dang, you're making a list tonight.
Yeah, the terrorist list. My bad. Maybe I should say that out loud. But I just liked it. I love the iconic imagery. I love this music. Oh well, anyway, I love the story. Acting, I give it a 7. I loved Atkins. He's just this, he's not your typical protagonist at all. He's not much of a gentleman. He's not much of a hero. He's definitely not
much of a doctor either.
Yeah, he's not much of a doctor either. I like him. And he did a lot of movies back in that time, and he was always solid. And then Colonel Cochran, I love him. I thought he was awesome. And I love that one guy who was like a mask salesman or whatever. And that the big guy, he was hilarious to me. Score and the sound design, I love the score. I love the first of all, of course, I love the jingle. The jingle is awesome. And I love the music score that John Carpenter did. I thought it was really awesome. I love the synth stuff, and it's just I love a lot of I'm gonna just be honest with you. Most of those 80s John Carpenter films, I'm gonna give a high score because I love the music that he did. Like They Live, and of course,
They Live. Dude, we totally need to do They Live.
I love They Live, but it wouldn't be. I don't know if it wouldn't be a Cinema de Fromage movie though, because I don't think it's.
It's got some cheesy bits in it, but it's a very good film.
Yeah, the ending the very ending scene, kind of low key, is real cheesy, but yeah. But anyway, production quality, I gave it a 6. Although I like the mask, and I like how the characters looked and stuff, the androids and whatnot. It didn't blow me away. Like The Office with the big computers was pretty silly, and so I wouldn't say the production quality was that high. So that's not up there. But overall entertainment value, I gave it a 9 because I enjoy this movie. I think this movie is fun. I've seen it a bunch of times, and is it Gone with the Wind? No. Is it Casablanca? No. Is it on level with like Tombstone? Yeah. It's up to. No, I'm playing. I'm kidding. I'm only kidding.
On the level of Halloween 3? Definitely.
For sure.
I would say, and you can shoot at me or not, it might be the best Halloween sequel of all of them. And I'm willing to. It's better than 4. Okay. 4 was overrated. 2 doesn't really hold up that well. 2 is really not that awesome. So I can go through them. If you count 2018 as a real sequel, Maybe 2018 is slightly better, but I would say this is the best sequel of all of them.
So, moral of the story: don't make sequels to good movies.
Well, the first one is one of the great movies of all time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love the first one. And as Jen was horrified to find out we could pick apart the first one too.
Right.
For fun, but I adore that film and I think it's a great film. But anyways.
Yeah. So my total score is 37.
37.
Josh.
37.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith reference.
All right. So it's on you, Joshua.
Okay. You'll be surprised to find out that I started this conversation by giving the story a 10. But then every time you conceded a point by saying, "Yeah, that was dumb," I took off a point. So,
vindictive.
Oh, how many times did he do that?
Well, the story I'm giving a 2.
A 2? Really?
You said that 8 times is what he's telling you.
Really though, the story is pretty awesome.
Nah.
Oh my god.
That he's gonna kill kids come on, that's not awesome.
Kill kids for giggles and a hero who is not heroic or a good person or has any redeeming qualities at all.
Don't you love that? That's different.
Do anything for any reason at all.
That's different. Hey, Artis, that's different.
Wow, Josh, you actually scored the car higher than Halloween 3.
I know. That's all right.
But things do go up from here, okay?
Okay. And you know what? The kids are getting a Blu-ray copy for the Halloween. Thank you.
At least make it a box set so they don't understand the context.
And I'm gonna get him a Silver Spring Shamrock. Oh, he got it. See? Oh, see, he low key likes it. All right. So what about acting?
The acting I gave a 5, not because anything was okay. It ran the gamut. Some of it was like really bad. Some of it was pretty good. And I think in the middle, it all met for a nice 5. Score and sound design.
Mm-hmm.
I did everybody favor and didn't count that earworm against it. But I now can't. I'm not going to sleep for a while. But I gave it a 5. Because there were some pretty nifty sound effects that I enjoyed, and of course the score was,
awesome.
You're making me use like positive words to describe something about this movie, and my body's rejecting it. And this is the part that's gonna like blow you away because production quality I gave a 7.
All right. Okay.
I enjoyed the look of it. I thought some of the special effects, while probably not aged very well, I did try to put it in the context of, at the time, and I was not, offended by what I saw. In fact, some of it was kind of impressive. Especially, I think my favorite effects scene was the chip with the face melting, or being blown off, however you want to describe it. And I was like, okay, dig it.
Yeah, little known fact, that was actually early LASIX.
Just missed a little.
Yep, just a little. They were still perfecting it. Sorry, Josh.
It's quite all right. I did not know that. Overall entertainment value, -7.
You know what? No -7.
Okay. Overall entertainment value, I gave it a 3, not because I can't say that it was so bad it was good, but I also can't say that it was good. So 3 seems to fit for me.
Oh man.
Well, let's make Kente feel a little better. Let's have Jen say her scores. At least he'll feel better.
Yeah, somebody who really knows film.
Kente, did you just unfriend me on Facebook?
I should. Jen, who knows.
Okay, well,
expert.
actually, my score is going to be quite a bit higher. Okay, so story actually gave this a 7.
That's right.
I really like it. I love how in a weird, over the top and yet tropey kind of way, it just pulls together all of our techno wizardry fears. I totally liked it. Acting, I gave a 6. And mostly, I gave that 6 for, remember Little Buddy? Little kid?
Right.
I freaking love that. Anyway, no, I really, some of the stuff, it was like way over the top. And, you played that great scene where at the end, he's just like screaming into the phone. I mean, you got to give these guys a lot of credit, right? Somebody hands them a script and they have to do these things deadpan. That speaks to some serious skill. These guys got.
He was good in that. He was very believable.
Yes, exactly. I was
very Charlton Heston like.
I was very convinced.
Yeah,
I was also very convinced when he was
characters.
sitting in the chair that he felt like he was going to die. So yeah, there we go. Also, 10 points for the face mask on the camera thing because that was damn tricky. Good job.
Yes. Let's see that guy.
That skill. That's his only skill. He's not a good doctor. He's not a good person. But man, if you need a mask thrown on a camera, that's the guy to go to.
Can you do that?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm impressed by that skill.
My kid said, I wonder if they did that all in one take.
Yeah. He threw it and then somebody dropped it on top of the camera.
Are your kids watching it too?
It was cute. Yeah, they did. They
what did they think?
They laughed hilariously.
Oh, see?
But they liked it. They totally liked it. In fact, one of them said something along the lines of, "Oh, this is like, oh God, shoot, what did they say? This is like some movie meets Stranger Things. Like it had the 80s vibe to it, but sort of the ridiculous campiness to it. So they totally got it. They did get it.
Oh, see, I like your kids.
Score, I gave the score on this one a 9.
Yes.
Super loved the score. I didn't just like you, Kente, I didn't just like the sort of digital synth stuff, which is so iconic and kind of cool. We just never hear that anymore. But also, I really loved the actual sound production. There were some really neat moments when they were doing things that specifically, and I was thinking myself that as they were doing some of the outside shots, there was a lot to sort of coordinate in that, and the sound editing itself was really good.
Yes.
Production. Okay, production. I gave this movie an 8, and I'll tell you why. The uniqueness. This just sort of goes along with what we were talking about before about the cinematographer. There are some really, well, I don't want to call them iconic, but there are some really breakout scenes in this movie that just even if you get rid of the plot all by itself and you just sort of pull up some of the scenes, they're really frightening based on camera angles and lighting. And the amount of thought that went into some of those scenes was clearly more than they poured into the script, but awesome, just really powerfully awesome. And I definitely feel like that was it was undervalued in the movie for sure.
Yeah, that guy's a great cinematographer.
He really is. He really is. The thing is, everything sort of all came together in that. It wasn't just the camera angles and the shots themselves. It was also sort of the way that the lighting matched up with the angles. There's just something super unique about it.
One of the things that I love about movies, like I love iconic imagery, and I like movies that you can like a still tells like the tale, right? Like I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie Get Out.
Yep.
And there's that scene where he's crying, and they used it in the posters and stuff. I love that image. You know what I'm saying? Like that. It's to me, it's like a real iconic image, and that movie has a bunch of in it. And I feel like this movie obviously is not on the level of Get Out, but it it does have tons of it throughout the film. I thought, which makes movies stand out. Like Halloween 4 really doesn't have that. You know,
I feel like the camera work tried to walk a very thin line, and it did it successfully, behind what could be digitally and what is sort of more grounded in reality. So they could have easily have done things that would have been, despite the fact that you think that some of them are ridiculous, even more ridiculous in a very over the top way, and they chose not to do that, and that gave the entire cinematic experience a little bit more depth to it. So I feel like that was also very underrated. So overall, I give this movie an 8. I would definitely watch it again. I mean, it's not like I want to sit down and see it every single night, but it is definitely on a list of, yeah, this is really fun to watch.
Wow, she gave it a higher score than me.
There we go.
So, and you wonder why I love Jen so much. Now you know why.
Yeah, I'm just your yes man. I know.
No.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling up. Now it's time for my review.
That's why I love Jen, and I don't know about this guy right now.
I don't know about me either. Putting myself through this all the time. All right, let's go with the story. As much as I like a bonkers evil plot that makes no sense and is kind of goofy, like I said, it was just ticking off boxes and going through it, and in such a bizarre way that no human beings act that way. I give it a 4, and it's only because of the bonkers plot. The rest of it is like, a terrible doctor and everything. Acting, I gave a 5. I mean, everyone was trying their best, but it's still like, it was like these people. The problem I have with this movie is these people don't act like people. Robots.
Well, some of them were androids, so they should.
The androids were more realistic than the main characters, as far as and the androids weren't scary. I'm sorry, I don't know. They weren't scary. If they were supposed to be scary, they were shot to be scary. They were shot to be but they just weren't. And the cinematographer tried his best to make them scary. He did, but you can't make something that isn't scary. Score and sound design. Well, yes, I love that earworm, and it bumps up my score. I was not a big fan of the score. I don't like synth music that much.
Oh.
I liked it. I liked it in the original Halloween, which actually wasn't synth. In fact, it wasn't synth, which I do like about it. This, I do not like synth music. I really don't. I had my fill of that in the 80s. I'm giving it a 4. The sound design was, I love the sound. Put it to a 5. Put it to a 5 because the sound designs was good, and I like the earworm. But that's it. Production quality and the overall look of the film, it looked good. It was well shot. There's some really nice scenes in it that are well shot. So I have to give it a 7. It is not an ugly film. It is very well. It's a nice looking film. I mean, it's got such a nice look for something that's it's the polished turd, really. It's just a terrible thing that's just made to look nice. My overall entertainment value. Yes, I do have that copy. It's going in the garbage. I got it for $2. I got it for $2, and I said, okay, you had your thing. I said, I'll watch it on my big screen. Maybe I'll send it to you if it's worth the cost to ship it. This is my second time watching it. I tried to enjoy it. I tried to enjoy it for what it was, and I sat there with my kids.
Your audio's cut out.
You still? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. My kids were really upset with me that I made them watch it with them. They did not like it, and we've seen a lot of bad movies.
Wow, you raised different kids than I did.
Yeah, we've watched a lot of bad movies, and this one they did not like. So 4, and that's only because I like the earworm, and I do like the ending. The rest of it, if you just made the movie out of just those 2 scenes, and the kid getting melted, I'd be happy. And there you go.
All right.
That's my high praise for this film.
All right, so let's do movies that make the meal.
Okay, so this, man, I had so much fun with this. We went to the store and we got these, you know what, peppers that are not the green peppers and not the red peppers, but the slightly orange peppers. You can use the ones that are a bit yellow too. Uh, we cut them out into the shape of pumpkins. So you make little jack-o'-lantern faces on the front of the pepper, and then you throw them in the oven, and they're stuffed. And it makes a really awesome little addition to watching Halloween 3. I wouldn't suggest that you try to wear them, but they do taste really good.
Now, if you put bugs in them and they came out, would that get the same effect as?
I didn't try bugs in this particular run through of the recipe, but I am willing to do that just for science.
Just for the effect.
Yep.
When you play that music, then you sneak the one with the bugs in on the kid's plate. Say, "Oh, look at that!" and you pop it there, and then, oh, surprise! There's bugs coming out of your thing now. Oh, that's a good trick. That's a good prank. Not killing your kids is a bad prank, but little scare there is a good prank.
Amazingly, crickets in your food is actually an interesting thing that I had never thought of before because I don't eat bugs. And I went to a party where that's basically all that they did, and I was mildly surprised that it wasn't bad.
Wait, you went to a party where all they did was eat bugs?
It was just all about bugs. Yep. It was the craziest thing, but it was pretty fun. Everything tasted like chicken.
Tastes like chicken. Well, okay, so let's get to the leaderboard.
Dun 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 dun.
And
Halloween 3 takes the lead.
Halloween 3, number 1 film.
No. Unfortunately, it's not going to make the final two.
Oh, sorry.
It's Strange Brew and Dawn of the Dead.
So far,
but Halloween 3 does come in at number 6 over Death Race and Tower Inferno and The Car and Rollerball. So, that's pretty cool. And Casino Royale.
Mm-hmm.
So it should have been a little higher, but
but just not everybody has the same appreciation that you do have for it.
Yeah, little haters, but that's okay though.
We gotta hate, us haters.
Yeah, apparently, so
right, Joshua.
I'm not saying I'm a hater. I'm just saying. Well, let me put it to you this way: when it comes to the story, just the idea of running a contest where there's no actual winner is a much better prank than killing all the children.
That's true. In fact, that's how you announce it. And the winner of the prize that you all came home early and missed Halloween for is you get nothing. Ha ha ha! See you next year, kids. And that is the true horror of Halloween. Because you said that you have to go for a prize at 6:00, so all the kids don't even get to go out trick or treating. They have to sit there and wait for this prize thing to come up.
Much better prank.
Oh yeah, that's now I would watch that movie.
Well, I say it was a outstanding movie.
That's all right.
Real film buffs appreciate it for its awesomeness. I'm just saying.
Fair enough.
Oh. All right, so let me tease next week's movie. Next week's movie is Plan 9 from Outer Space. This will be our
final film.
Season. It's our final film, but not our season finale. We will do our debate show not the following week, but the week after. We always have a week in between.
Mm-hmm.
So
give us time to think.
Right. So here we go. Plan 9 from Outer Space came out in 1959. Residents of California's San Fernando Valley are under attack by flying saucers from outer space. The aliens, led by Eros and his assistant, intend to conquer the planet by resurrecting corpses in Hollywood Cemetery.
How can you not love that?
Yeah, came out on July 22nd, 1959. Oh wow, this was the, what is it? This was the 70. What is it? The 70-year anniversary?
Is it? Oh, I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, because it came out in 59. So
70th anniversary. What
Yeah,
a
that
great
is
way
crazy.
to celebrate this awesome film, which I think will be
60?
number one after we're done with this.
60.
60 years.
Yeah, you're right. 60 years.
60 years.
I can't count. My bad.
Well, so 60
Okay.
something.
It's only 60. Who cares?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's 10 more than 50.
True.
And
So-
we celebrated that moon landing thing, so.
That totally didn't happen.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Come on. Let's not. I've been through this debate before. I don't want to.
Hey, I will debate that all day long and all night. Okay, so let's start off with you, Josh. How can we get you in social media and all that wonderful stuff?
If you want to reach out to me on social media, all you have to do is go to your local Twitters and hit up Skit Comic. In fact, if there's a place you can sign up, find Skit Comic, and that's me. So Skit Comic, and while you're at it, check out Semicore Studios and all your favorite podcatchers to catch all of my latest and greatest shows.
All right, when are you gonna have me on a Netflix show?
When do you want to come on?
Isn't it coming up pretty soon, right?
I generally do a live show the day before the 1st, so the list can be ready on the 1st.
All right, let me know. I want to be there.
Okay.
All right.
And it looks like September would be a good month for that, so a lot of good stuff coming out.
All right. You can get me at Kente F on Twitter, Kente Ferguson on Instagram, and indyradio.org. That's indyradio.org. Jen, how can we get you?
I was talking and I muted the mic. You can get me on Twitter at followingbliss1, and you can find my websites on the web at criticallaughs.com and moviesmakethemeal.com. And also, I have to say, this was a really fun episode, guys. I had a great time.
Me too, yeah.
Okay. No bad feelings. That's all that matters.
No.
And me, I'm off the grid. You're not going to find me anywhere. That's the way I'm going to live my life. Technology has scared me.
And we found you here.
Yeah, I know. It's a fluke. But if you really want to, go to Professor Psycho's moviemadhouse.com to see movies, things I've done, little projects here and there, and also links to other podcasts I've done. Plus, I think there's some sort of link to this, but I'm not sure. I ain't no technological wizard here, so what you get's what you get.
All right.
It's working with a Commodore 64.
Oh, I wish. They had a great version of Spy Hunter on that thing.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Happy Halloween.